What's up YouTube? This is AfroJoeTCG, and today I want to show you guys a few duels showcasing the Eidolon Blue-Eyes or the Invoked Blue-Eyes deck I posted on my channel a few days ago. In case you guys haven't seen it, I'll have a link in the description down below and at the end of this video as usual. But to start off, the first deck I played against was a 60 card Infernoid deck. I ended up winning dice roll, so after looking at my hand, I decided to go for the Brilliant Fusion play first, get the White Stone to search, use Melody, get the alternative, get the search powers I need, trade in for draws, and now I go for the first Metraba. And I was thinking about going for the traditional play where I go for the Medlanka so I can make the Dark Matter, but I go for the second Metraba because I have a extra spell in my hand I can discard in case of a board wipe. So I let the Instant Fusion go through just because I didn't think he was going to have Thousand Eyes Restrict, but he did, so he did force me to use my second negate, and now he got Kaiju Slumber off. And because of that, he's able to get off Lawn Mowing, which puts me at a disadvantage because he has all the grave setup he needs. Now, why he gave me the dark one instead of Gamseal, I don't know, but it doesn't really matter. I get the Blue Eyes, which is able to beat over pretty much any of the Kaijus he had. And again, I was able to recycle the next turn anyway, but now I had drew the Magic Circle so I can search out another Aleister. I use a Summoning Magic so I can attempt to go for a Fusion Summon play. He uses Snow, and the thing is, he forfeited once he realized that Snow's effect doesn't resolve until the end of a chain. So he can't activate Snow's effect to flip something face down to the end of a chain, and he probably assumed I was going for a Metraba. And if I was going for Metraba, I would have banished the Snow, and then that would have been it. I would have beat over his card, swung in again, and he's relying on top decking, in which case he realizes I have a consistent flow of Fusion Summon I can do every turn. He doesn't have a consistent play, so he's relying on top decking, and he probably assumed my advantage was too much for him. So that concludes the first match. The second duel I wanted to show you guys was against Herald of Perfection, and this is a deck, again, I went in blind for. He won dice roll, so once I saw Herald, I was scared because I assumed he was going to have like 4 or 5 negates turn 1, and I wasn't sure how I was going to be able to force him to use up all the negates for Herald. I assumed there's like 2 strikes or something, so I go for Summoning Magic, which he doesn't negate. I go for Aleister's Effect, which he also surprisingly doesn't negate. He does negate the summon of Alternative just because he realizes it can be over Herald, which is what I was planned on. Return Dragon Lords for the same reason. So now I forced him to use all his negates, and I assume this card was as a bluff because he hasn't used it yet the entire game. So now I'm just trying to go off as much as I can. I get the first fusion summoning the Eidolon Beast. I summon Aleister, which I now realize he has Strike, and he didn't use it the entire game, which made no sense. So he uses it now after I already went off so much. He should have used it on the first Aleister, then I wouldn't have been able to do any of my plays I just made. But I wasn't complaining, so now I'm just negating his ability to search. I don't want him having any negates for Herald. And at this point, he realizes I have game once he sees me recycle both Aleister and the alternative back to my hand. Because his options are this, so either I summon an alternative and he lets it go through, in which case I'm getting rid of the Herald, or he negates it with the Bottomless, or he gets rid of the Bottomless Trap Hole, and he realizes with Aleister in my hand, I'm going to be able to normal summon, go for another synchro play, and even if I wasn't able to normal summon, I would be able to use Aleister's effect to discard itself to get over the Herald of Perfection, and then I would just be able to swing with my other 2 monsters, and he'll pretty much have nothing he can do top decking wise that will get rid of my field. So this pretty much ensured me game 2. The third game I played against was actually a True King Cosmo, which is a deck I've actually never played against. I've never played against True Kings before, so I was always curious of how they worked. So I see Cosmo Town, I'm playing against Cosmos. I see this, I'm like, is this True Kings? And I was excited, never played against True Kings before, like I said. So I'm seeing them go off a bunch of times. And I see this card, which makes my mouth drop because I don't know how, because I couldn't activate any of my field effects. But lucky for me, field and hand, I can still activate my hand and grave effects, so I'm able to search. I'm able to get my fusion plays off, and this was a mistake here. I meant to put Seraphonite in defense mode, but It is what it is. So I use Aliester's effect knowing he has to attack over me. So I get rid of the one card that can stop me from playing. And now that I realize how that works, I'm just going to banish any monster they have, because they need at least 2 monsters to destroy to bring out a True King. And the True King's effect activates for a lot of them. So now I just have to banish that True King if it activates its effect. Or I'll just get rid of one of the monsters that's trying to be used as a banish material. Or destroy material, I guess, for the summoning condition. So now that I have 2 Metabuzz, I pretty much an almost entitled game, because he tries to I let him go off with the spell and everything, but once I see a monster effect activate, I'm negating it immediately, so he can't bring out another monster to pop. I drew into Goliath, which is fortunate for me, so now if he activates a True King effect, which I knew he would be able to next turn, he won't be able to do anything, so he tries, I just banish and negate it, so that concludes the duel with the True Kings. I really just got lucky with the top deck for the monster, but I pretty much prevented my opponent from being able to play, which is pretty nice. But if he got rid of my board, it would have been a top decking game, and I wasn't sure how I would do in that situation. So the last duel I want to show you guys is actually a duel where I was losing. It was against Ancient Deer, surprisingly. Yes, Ancient Deers, and the reason why I was losing to Ancient Deers is because I don't have a way to get rid of their big fusion. And I didn't draw like the hottest hand either, so I'm just doing what I can. He searches for Deer Town, so I'm like, okay, it's an old-fashioned Ancient Deer build. But he has 4 Ancient Deer monsters in his hand. Oh, it's turn 1. So I'm like, oh god. And I don't have a way to get rid of this. I top deck Return the Dragon Lords, which saves me from getting my butt whooped. I would have got destroyed next turn. So this saves me, and I need to top deck Aliester. I top deck the card that lets me search Aliester, so now I can go for a fusion play. But of course, I'm going to do my draw power first. I go for my Atlantica, so I can go for the Galaxy Engine, so I can get full armor to pop, and then go for the Amorphage Lock to make sure he can't fusion summon anymore. And I just get rid of his monster, and I get my Dragon Spear of White to banish his Deer Town, so he can't do any shenanigans later on. So now I know he can't use the extra deck, and I'm pretty confident he can't win. But since I saw a bunch of machines, I'm like, you know what? Let's be safe. If he plays gadgets, I saw a gadget. I'm like, you know what? Let's be safe. I'll activate Dark Mare's effect. And I was right. He did have the gadgets, so he manages to float out this turn, so I can't OTK him. So I'm just worried he draws the Raigeki and I have to go back to square one. But it really didn't matter, because if he drew Raigeki, I had game regardless. Next turn, because I had the ability to go for Gem Knight Lazuli, and just go with Sage Eyes of Blue play. And that would have been game right there. But he doesn't draw anything. He summons Wyvern, activates effect, and then scoops. And that pretty much shows that this deck can work going first or second. It is a bit reliant on you having an Eidolon card or enough Blue-Eyes cards to be able to play. But as you can tell, if you get even a decent opening, like just two cards is all you need to have a decent board. So that's the end of the video of me showcasing my deck. Please remember to rate, comment, subscribe. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down. Comment in the comment section down below what you guys thought about the duels. If you guys liked them, if you guys thought I should have done different plays at certain spots throughout the duel. If you have any tips for me in the deck in general, whether it's for clogging issues or just stuff you saw in this video. Once again, if you want to see the deck profile, you can look at the end of this video. It should be right above, right around now. And you'll also be in the description down below. So once again, this is AfroJoeTCG. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.